Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Sunday, March the 11th, and welcome to our video commentary. There's been a lot of talk about what happened on Tuesday and the primary here in Texas, and we've had now a few days to dissect the numbers and study the numbers, go inside the numbers, as they like to say in sports. We've had two very good articles, by the way, about all of this. One by Michael Barone, who knows elections as well as anybody in the United States, and Karl Rove, who is very knowledgeable, of course, of Texas politics. And both of these men have written that this so-called blue wave never really happened in Texas. What was going on is that we had, of course, early voting. And some of the media reports that were coming out were showing a heavy Democrat turnout. And that was true. They increased their numbers significantly. They basically doubled their vote from the last time. But you have to look at those numbers in some context. The fact is that the Democrats had a very bad 2014. So, when you double, it sounds a lot bigger than it really was, because 2014, again, was very bad for them. So they did double it, and that made it sound like they had grown a great deal, when in fact they had not. The other problem was that many of these early reports were based on 15 counties in Texas. Well, Texas has 254 counties. So 15 of 24, not exactly very representative of the states, particularly when the 15 counties they were citing were the counties where the Democrats were more likely to turn out and do better. At the end of the day, when all the votes were counted, basically you had, I think, 2.5 million, 3 million people vote, 60% in the Republican primary, 40% in the Democrat primary. And that's probably the way it's going to be in November when we have our governor's election. You're going to have Governor Abbott reelected with about 60% of the vote, and my guess is that Senator Cruz will be somewhere between 55 and 60%, probably closer to 60 than 55. So that's really what happened in Texas. It simply confirmed that this is, in fact, a majority Republican Party, and that all of these predictions about a blue wave and all of that were just a little bit exaggerated. Now, there's two things that I believe are going to drive turnout in November in huge numbers. Republican turnout, that is. Remember that there's probably 2 to 2.5 million more votes that could turn out for the Republican Party in November. One of the reasons that we had a soft Republican primary, or turnout that is because there weren't any really primary races. When I went to vote, there was only one. That was Bush and Patterson. That was marginally a contest. Bush won easily. And then I know in Collin County they had Paxton and Huffines. That drew a lot of interest. And down in San Antonio, they had a big primary to replace retiring Representative Lamar Smith. But throughout the state, there weren't really that many reasons to vote, because most of the elections were uncontested, or you knew who the winner was going to be, like Governor Abbott or Senator Cruz. So there weren't a lot of Republicans who said, I got to get out there and vote because there's a big contest on my ballot. Well, that's not going to be the case in November, and it's because of two reasons. I think that what you're going to have in November is a classic liberal versus conservative debate. And that's going to be between Senator Cruz and Mr. O'Rourke, who is a very liberal guy. And I think that's going to draw out a lot of voters on behalf of Mr. Cruz. The other issue that I think could be mammoth from the standpoint of turnout in November is sanctuary cities. If the Democrats were to nominate Lupe Valdez, and it's starting to look that way because she got like 41 or 42% of the vote in the first round, so she's got an edge, if you will, to win the runoff. If they were to nominate Lupe Valdez, then you would have a referendum basically about sanctuary cities in November. It would be a referendum on SB 4, which is the law that the legislature and the governor signed here in Texas regarding sanctuary cities. So if those two issues, that is liberal versus conservative, and sanctuary cities, if those are the two driving issues in November, you're going to have a huge Republican turnout. A huge Republican turnout, which I think could very well put Governor Abbott over 60% of the vote, and Senator Cruz very close to that as well. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think now that we've had a chance to dissect these numbers, it's obvious that this was not the Democrat wave that was being reported in the pre-election reporting. Thank you for listening. You know, we have all of these over at YouTube. We have them on my Twitter. We have them on blog. And you can see them there. We've got a long list of them now. We've got several months of these now. So you check them out and enjoy some of the old ones. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy Sunday. We'll talk to you later.